Border Patrol Agent Monica Cruz in the Welton, Arizona sector is blowing the whistle on a deeply flawed system in which juvenile smugglers, also known as foot guides, are able to bring multiple groups of illegal aliens across the border on a regular basis. The smugglers are teenagers whose ages range from 14 to 17 years old. Given a loophole in the American law, when the teenage smugglers are apprehended by Border Patrol, they are released back to Mexico repeatedly, only to repeat the same smuggling route with no fear of legitimate consequences. One particular smuggler, known by the nickname Timmy, has been apprehended and released over 20 times, which means he smuggled people 20 times. Monica Cruz has made the extraordinary decision to go public, on the record, which is against Border Patrol policy.
And don't fear the government and what they can do to you. I'm just standing here, just hear what I'm trying to say. Help me.
This is her story, and the story of teenage smugglers, Timmy and Jimmy. We're here with Border Patrol agent blowing the whistle on the individual who was apprehended 20 times, taking this path right here in the middle of nowhere in Arizona. Let's keep going. This individual, Timmy, apprehended 20 times, but they're doing it on behalf of somebody else.
They're doing it on behalf of the cartels. This is a scout location, that little peak right there.
They go to peak to peak to peak.
Peak to peak to peak.
Maybe that's what we should do tomorrow. Let's go.
Hug up a mountain?
Yeah.
We don't know if there's anything up there?
This is some challenging terrain here. These rocks, be careful with your feet.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
You heard the whistle?
Just now?
I wouldn't be surprised if they're behind that ridge. I'm just looking at me.
Yeah, that whistle was so...
What you should be doing for this moment moving forward is understanding that we are being watched, we're being monitored, and they are whistling.
Hello.
Well, hello there.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, finally.
Nice to meet you, yeah. So you ready to do this?
I'm ready.
You ready so what's the plan for today?
The plan to today, let's capture what these little guys walk through.
The cartel and smugglers are recruiting children in the United States through video games like Roblox.
We were just talking about how social media has impacted a lot of the recruitment. My kid in 2020 received a message on Roblox, and it said, hey, do you want to make some extra money? And of course, as a mother, I panicked and started looking into it, and then there I realized that they're soliciting our kids here in the U.S.
Soliciting our kids for what?
For smuggling. We've had plenty of juvenile cases where underage U.S. citizens were hired to pick up, but they never received any kind of consequence because we don't have a current guideline to prosecute.
Border Patrol Agent Monica was inspired by our film Line in the Sand, when we tracked the entire journey of the unaccompanied children from migrant shelters like Southwest Key via transportation specialists like MVM to their final destination to so-called sponsors. And when did you decide I'm going to do this?
I watched your documentary. You followed where these kids went after we released them. In 2016, I was transport. I used to be the one transporting these children to Southwest Keys locations.
This map, provided by Monica, the Border Patrol agent, shows all the apprehensions of Timmy, one of the teenage smuggling guides, in the area south of Interstate 8 and the Mexican border, just south of Yuma, Arizona.
So this is the location where I believe when they make it here, they look over towards the mountain. There's a mountain with the A on it. And they said, okay, now it's go time. Let's get transportation started. They rock up, as in they hide and wait for them to get picked up. And you can see how easily it is to get out here. Anybody can come here today and pick them up straight from that mountain right there.
And that's what is that called there?
So these are the Bryans. They're the Bryan Mountains. We are technically about 6 miles to 8 miles straight back from Mexico. Now, there's a process. You bring them in, there's 2 days, and you have to get them out. But these smugglers, who happen to be juveniles, they already know that they're going to get caught, they're going to get sent back, and even though they got caught, they still get paid because they're brought in as decoys. But the juveniles is genius, because who else can you say, hey kid, you may get caught, but it's all right. We're still going to pay you.
How many times did this individual get apprehended?
Mr. Timmy. Timmy has over 20 apprehensions.
Timmy.
Timmy.
Why do you call him Timmy?
It's
just a nickname?
Just a nickname. And not
How old is Timmy?
Timmy now is considered 17 years old.
Timmy and Jimmy are just two of many teenage smugglers. This document provided by Monica Cruz shows just in this area, there are many other teenage foot guides apprehended 8 times, 7 times, 4 times, and eventually, just a year or two later, these teenage foot guides become adults and continue with their criminal activities, and oftentimes, we don't know their exact ages.
This individual, Timmy, apprehended 20 times. And apprehended by whom?
Border Patrol. Border Patrol.
And given to whom?
To Yuma Processing Center.
Yuma Processing Center is run by the feds or the state, or?
No, it's still federal facility.
And then what happens?
And then the Timmy will allow to talk to the Mexican consulate the next morning, because we have a 2-day timeline to get him out. The next day, he talks to the consulate, and then they return back home. It's considered a voluntary return. That's the whole process.
Done.
We're done with them.
And then they appear again.
And they appear again.
But they're doing it on behalf of somebody else.
They're doing it on behalf of the cartels.
So we're standing outside the Mexican consulate in Yuma, Arizona. This consulate acts as an advocate for juveniles. They do not address the smuggling activities, including Timmy, 20 times doing this criminal activity. No one's been prosecuted, no one held accountable. The Mexican consulate participating in this activity, facilitating this activity, no bueno.
The name of the person who heads up the Mexican consulate in Yuma, Arizona, is a woman named Dulce Maria Valle Alvarez. Alvarez knows the identity of the juveniles, but they do not share that with Border Patrol. The Mexican consulate's involvement is limited to welfare checks and arranging pickups in Mexico. They have more information, but do not assist in verifying identities for prosecution.
So this is the center of the mountains. This is Timmy's, one of Timmy's routes. He pops up out of that side.
So they go right along the interstate.
Yep, just along anywhere on the where you could walk up to. So you could get here by foot, by climbing through those mountains. This is a scout location. That little peak right there used to be a scout location. They have a vast view of the whole area if in case law enforcement is near.
Monica also provided images of scouts on top of locations, scouts in training, images of carpet shoes they wore to avoid detection, and showed us the specific route that the scouts take along a jagged edge of a desolate ridge, about an hour drive down a bumpy road from the interstate.
Now, Timmy's route, all through these mountains here.
So the spotters are up in the hills.
Yeah,
What do they do? Just sit in a rock?
They have their own little nests.
I want to see the nests.
I do too. I've seen them on pictures. For us Border Patrol agents, it's unsafe to go up there. We have no idea if they are armed, what kind of traps they may have laid out.
They've got booby traps, and they hike from point. Is it the peak? They go to peak to peak to peak.
Peak to peak to peak.
Is that what they do?
Yeah, it's the highest vantage
Maybe that's
point.
what we should do tomorrow. Let's go.
Hug up a mountain?
Yeah.
We don't know if there's anything up there?
The only issue with the plan was the ridgeline isn't really a hiking trail. It's a treacherous, tiny pyramid of jagged rocks along a narrow, thin summit, basically unhikeable and unstable, but we chose to hike it anyway.
Okay, so right behind me, this ridge here, we've been told that this is the spot where you can see into Mexico. That's the highest point. That's where the scouts are. And our Border Patrol agent says if you sit up on the hill, don't go to the best looking spot. That's usually where the scouts are. Don't go to the highest point. That's usually where the scouts are, but that's where we're gonna go, to the top of that ridge. All right, let's go hiking. We're hoping to traverse the ridge and see where these nests are with these scouts. It's not gonna be an easy climb. If you sit up on that hill, don't go to the best looking spot. That's usually where the scouts are. Don't get rocked. What does he mean by rocked? I mean, this is some challenging terrain here. These rocks, you know, be careful with your feet. As we go along the side of this ridge with these scouts, little possible spot where they have a little fire. This is the path they take. We're gonna walk the path of Timmy. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. It's like we're billy goats. I mean, you're like a gazelle. This ridge here, not an easy thing to climb. You got loose rocks, you know, and yet these scouts, they just climb up here in the dead of night. You know, one slip and you break your head.
All we saw was some contraband and some small caves where scouts would keep items and keep warm.
Is that a campfire right there? What's this campfire?
So this is one of the last spots before getting closer to the highway.
What are these bullets?
Live fire. It's a little spot where they congregated, maybe shot some rounds.
Zip ties?
It is not uncommon to see that.
So we're following the path of Timmy right now.
Timmy, yes.
We're here with Border Patrol Agent blowing the whistle on the individual who was apprehended 20 times, taking this path right here in the middle of nowhere in Arizona. Let's keep going. Is this the hiking path right here?
This is the actual.
You can see a path.
Absolutely. This has been used time and time again.
So this spot right here, you see how this bottoms out right here? This is a high traffic area where a lot of these teenage boys, including Timmy, come through this direction. Right through this section here, we've got spotters in the hills watching us right now here in Arizona.
The final step was going all the way to the wall, where Timmy and Jimmy began each of their 20-plus journeys. Now, this section of the wall, less than a mile long, is particularly dangerous because it is so far removed, and on each side of this small section of the wall featured gaping holes and a rock face that people could climb.
So we're going to the wall. I know you have limited time, so we got to make moves. Anything before we get in the cars?
Now let's get ready for a bumpy ride.
All right. So where are we?
We are at Monument 190. What you see behind me is Mexico.
Strategically, for the smugglers, this is a great spot.
Why?
It's easy to get across, and they hide themselves within the ridges of the mountain.
Where do they get across?
At that end there, if you could just walk right over.
Shall we walk down there? Well, this is not a secure place.
No, it's not. Anybody can come in.
So where do they usually cross here?
Up in that corner there.
I mean, you could probably get through there, right? Yeah, you can definitely sneak through there. You're in Mexico now. He's like Gumby. So do they come across, they come on the end?
Yes. Timmy definitely fits through there.
Okay, I see.
A common entry point for a lot of smugglers, to include our juvenile smugglers, Timmy and Jimmy, and the rest of them we haven't been able to identify. They have entered, but they haven't given us their true identity.
I see. Are we being watched right now?
Absolutely.
You heard the whistle? Just now?
Yep. There'll be whistles. Don't know what they mean, but there'll be one single whistle, two back to back, and then three back to back.
Where was the whistle coming from?
Up the saddle that ridge right here.
How far away would they have to be?
I wouldn't be surprised if they're behind that ridge. I'm just looking at. We can't
But that
see.
whistle was so close.
Where are they? Just up in the mountains?
Up in the mountains.
Do they have little lights when they come through at night or no?
No.
No lights.
It's a light discipline, meaning you work in darkness. They already know the routes.
Yeah.
Timmy, in his size, could fit through the rails, I'm sure. He's so skinny. As far as the other one, Jimmy, is actually a colleague of Timmy's.
Timmy and Jimmy.
Timmy and Jimmy, that is why we use those monikers. They only know one thing. I must take the merchandise across.
What do you mean by merchandise?
That's how they refer to
People?
the group of people. That alone shows zero care for these commodities as humans.
Is it about money?
It's always about money.
It's about money.
These young kids idolize cartel life.
Why?
They think that that is a success. The more money you have, gold, money, girls, they constantly have them in their social medias, giving a thumbs up to the cartel violent killings. They think that is something to aspire to.
Right here.
Yeah.
Here it is. It's an open door.
Open door. But they can bring a little motorcycle through that.
I wondered how much money these teenage boys help the cartel bring in. How much do they pay?
$10,000 from the person. Out of that $10,000, anywhere from $8,000 to $1,000 per head for the foot guide. The foot guide is only making a small percentage of the big bulk of what is charged to each illegal alien. They're making anywhere between $3,000 to $4,000 per group. So where's the incentive to stop for these kids?
It's a good question. The only solution, it seemed, was a change in U.S. policy regarding these teenage foot guides being finally held accountable. We sent this story to Tom Homan, the new border czar, and his team, and intend to report their reaction when we have it.
We as law enforcement have to keep our eyes open, our training on board, and always watch each other's back. So let's take this moment, get better, be proactive, and don't fear the government and what they can do to you. I'm just standing here, just hear what I'm trying to say, help me, and we will then move forward.
Appreciate you very much.
Thank you, I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you too.
Thank you. Our Citizen Journalism Foundation, a fully tax-deductible 501c3, supports these whistleblowers, tells their story, gives them a platform, gives them legal support, and if they are retaliated against, gives financial support. Please help the cause by writing a check to Citizen Journalism Foundation today. You can go to cjfusa.org or o'keefemediagroup.com to learn how to make that donation and where to send in your support to keep these stories coming forward. And stay tuned for follow-up footage and getting the smugglers themselves on audio and videotape as we intend to produce the next installments of Line in the Sand. What you should be doing from this moment moving forward is understanding that we are being watched, we're being monitored, and they are whistling. So what we're going to do is we're going to split up, and I want two videographers in a location A. I want two videographers in location B. It might take hours. It's an endurance test.